that is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode number 42 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where four friends get together to discuss the wonder of professional wrestling. And there are four of us today because Brett's back from holiday.
Boo. Oh,
that's not fair.
I'm sorry.
I was going to woot myself, but then I thought, no, I'm going to see what the guys do.
You can't
and I wish
woot
I
yourself.
Brett, you're over as a heel. I mean, isn't that what you've always wanted?
Yeah. Brett, my first question to you is, have you watched All In and listened to the All In review that we did last week?
I have listened to half of the All In review you did last week, and I haven't watched All In because I don't actually know how or where to watch it.
Oh.
Isn't it on?
It's on New
It's
Japan.
on New
isn't
Japan
it?
World.
Yeah.
It's on New Japan World.
Yeah.
Yes,
it is. Yeah, I watched it on there. It was on the day after or the day after.
Yeah.
Because
Something like that.
I even Googled it because I was like, I wanted to watch it on my Amazon stick. And New Japan's on that, so I could have freaking watched it, but Google didn't have any answers for me.
Oh man.
God
How
damn
does
Google.
the pod stand up, considering you haven't seen the event?
Well, that's why I wanted to watch the event, because it sounded
Because
really
the pod's awful.
good. No, because you sounded really good. And I liked that Sam's coming round to party Marty Skrull.
Skrull.
Yeah, that
Hold
was
on,
a big
Or the
revelation.
villain. Yeah, you go back and listen, Sam. You're
We're getting there.
on the
Slowly.
the train.
Next up, Trent Seven.
It's not necessarily the hype train, just the train.
Yeah.
Well, it's lovely to have you back, Brett. It really is.
Thank you.
So lovely. So yeah, last week was the All In review. This week we're doing a wrestling roundup, which is a general chat really about wrestling news and shows we've been watching and things like that. So we'll crack on with that straight away after this.
Balor chin first into the hardest part of the ring. Uh-oh.
So we're going to start off with wrestling news, the headlines that have been catching our attention. And first of all, though, we're going to go back to All In and talk a little bit about the reaction to it, the fallout. Has everyone watched Being the Elite? Or
Yep.
Yes.
Nope.
that's fine, Brett. That's fine. That's fine. You're back from holiday. It's okay.
Yeah, it's
You've gotta
going to be a
warm up to
common
these
thread
things.
here.
Is he back from holiday or is he still on holiday? Come on, Brett, it's wrestling to watch.
I mean, you're telling me that you didn't spend the whole week with your wife away in Cornwall or wherever you went. You might not want me to reveal to the listeners where you go on your holidays. You didn't watch any wrestling?
No,
None at
no
all.
wrestling.
Not even some
None.
local Cornwall style
No, 'cause-
promotion.
Some
Because
tractor matches. Or...
where we were didn't have Wi-Fi, and we had absolutely no phone signal there either. It was like we literally had to leave the cottage and walk down the road to get like a couple of bars. So there was
That
certainly no
actually
watching it on
sounds
the 3G
amazing.
either.
Yeah, sounds great.
I would hate that.
Okay, well, Being the Elite came out obviously this week, and a big part of our All In review was talking about how important Being the Elite was to this pay-per-view, and the fact that I hadn't watched it and wasn't really up to date. But I did watch it today, so three of us have watched it. And how would you describe it, Sam? What happened in that episode?
I would describe it as a bit of a special episode, really. Rather than it being a kind of regular episode, it seemed a lot more like a kind of behind-the-scenes build-up to All In, which was cool to see, to be honest. I think kind of the only two parts of it which were standard Being the Elite style
Yeah.
stuff were the Jerry Ryan stuff with him training up, which I found really funny.
That was good.
In a very immature way. And then just the dog joke at the end. So
Oh, that was great.
yeah,
That was
I
really
mean,
funny.
overall, it was a strange episode, more of a documentary than a normal episode of it. But
Yeah, it's 45 minutes long, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
Wow.
it really sort of highlighted the achievement and sort of hard work they put into it as well.
absolutely, and oh man, I really want those belts. Can we challenge the Bucks for those
All-in
all-in
belts.
belts?
What do you reckon
Yeah,
our
me
and
chances
you,
are
John.
of winning against the Bucks?
Oh, yeah. I don't think we could sell out 10,000 seats.
You saw our chops, John.
Yeah, true.
That's all we need,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, a couple of chops done. That's the go home.
chops.
Just a couple of chops.
It's funny you talking about the Joey Ryan section, because I watched it, and then on the little column, the recommendation column on YouTube, they had Joey Ryan's wedding, like real life wedding, on his YouTube channel, which I clicked on just to see if it was real, if it was a joke, and it was real. And I watched his wedding ceremony.
Wow, that took a detour.
Yeah,
Quite a lot of questions there. One, why is that on YouTube? And why did you watch it?
Yeah. Why would you watch it?
well, it was 10 minutes, so it was literally like.
Did you
people
think there was going to be
walking
like a
up
surprise run-in or something like that?
the aisle. Yeah, I was interested to see who was in the
Hangman
crowd.
Page.
Yeah, Candice LeRae was a bridesmaid.
Imagine if like Hangman Page did like a 3 Men and a Baby with is it Ted Danson? He rips off the mask.
Yes, he does.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great film.
It is a good film.
There's a cool
Great
back.
reference. Yeah.
Next episode, we should watch Hardest Part of the Ring, watch 3 Men and a Little Lady.
Yes, that sequel is really good. Tom Selleck, Ted Danson.
John, are you trying to get us to avoid, trying to take away from the fact that you picked an awful pay-per-view as your rewind, and now you're trying to
Awful paper.
move it to films?
Yeah, I think that's probably the only way they can go.
Yes. See, at least I got my dig off the pod, John.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, thanks, Brett.
John was slagging off Brett hard before this. Anyway, wow. We are not making good progress, so let's try and get back on track. It was a cool video. Obviously, as Sam said, mostly just behind-the-scenes stuff. It was really cool to see the arena come together, and it was also cool to see the full speeches that they did after the event, because obviously it was all cut off on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quite long-winded, but just mostly them talking about how proud they were of the work they'd done. And
Small criticism.
Yeah.
I don't think I could imagine anything worse than going to a karaoke event with a bunch of wrestlers.
Yeah,
Just
I have to agree.
singing awkward karaoke. That looked a bit.
Oh, really?
Or in
I'd be well up
general.
for that.
Really?
I thought all the Starcast stuff looked kind of awful, like
Oh,
half-empty
yes.
rooms.
Yeah, Starcast did look a bit cringy. But I reckon me and Kenny Omega could do a great Roxy music.
Ooh, what track?
Actually, yeah.
Love is a
Jealous
drug,
Guy.
maybe? Ooh, that's Jealous
Oh,
Guy.
Love is a Drug.
Oh, what's the?
That, can I just say, that happens to be one of my mum's favourite songs.
Really? Your mum
So,
has
yeah.
fantastic choice.
Fantastic. Okay, phew. Whew. Okay, right, moving on. Or are we moving on?
Yeah, we should
Me
probably-
and Brandy Rhodes would sing "Toxic."
Nice. You both be wearing the
We'd
jumpsuit.
both be wearing the dress. She wouldn't need to buy it. I'd have to get myself a new one. My old one doesn't fit.
Okay,
Cool.
good. All right. Anyway, that's our little all-in being the elite chat, because we wanted to touch on that briefly. In terms of other news, quickly, obviously, RevPro have last week or week before announced that they have a UK TV deal, which is pretty exciting. They recently announced it with Free Sports, which is a free-to-air channel that launched last August and apparently reaches around 18 million homes.
Wow. Do you know how to get it? I've never seen it.
I think it's on Freeview and on Sky. I'm not sure what channel
Reaching 18 million homes doesn't mean being watched by 18 million homes.
it is. Well, yeah.
This is the Rocks and Gems channel all over again.
I think they show a lot of hockey and NASCAR and MMA and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, surely BritRest fans are going to check it out. I mean, I'll
yeah,
check it out.
Yeah.
I would definitely watch that over World of Sport.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The best
I agree.
the best live wrestling shows I've seen are RevPro shows.
Yeah, they filmed 2 TV shows last week on the 5th and 6th of September, and those shows featured Zack Sabre Jr., Roppongi 3K, Colt Cabana, Chris Brooks, David Starr, Jushin Thunder Liger, Kushida, and Aussie Open. So great
So
talent.
basically New Japan.
Well,
with a few
basically, yeah,
extras.
RevPro.
Cool.
Loads of great talent. I mean, there is so much to watch, but it'll be interesting to see how that is produced.
Absolutely.
And, you know,
Yeah, I'm going to go out my way to watch that. More so
Yeah,
than
it's just what we need. Just another wrestling show to watch.
Yes. So yeah, but pretty, big news really. Obviously,
That's great for British wrestling. Really great, especially with like NXT UK kicking off and
Yeah.
kind of World of Sport. It may not be doing so well, but it's something. It's good times for wrestling.
Yeah, especially with Progress sort of making so many strides. It's good that RevPro have got something something in
Yeah.
the news. Get some eyes on the product.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd imagine all the Progress chapters will probably end up on the WWE network at some point. I can't see them ever having a TV deal, or I don't know.
Who knows? Depends
Who
how
knows?
good this Wembley show is, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of WWE, there's also been a couple of news stories there that we want to talk about. Firstly, the reports that are suggesting that Daniel Bryan has signed a new WWE contract.
How are you surprised? Not surprised.
Not surprised.
Not really
Yeah,
surprised.
not surprised.
Not surprised, just disappointed.
Yeah.
I saw something, an article on like him, and like it was always just a case of when he signed it, because he like was just talking about, you know, when you first sign with WWE, you just sort of go along and sign whatever they want you to. And this time, you know, it's like he's got his lawyers checking everything and demanding this, that, and the other, so that, you know, he's got all the clauses for himself, because usually they're WWE heavy. Hence, you know, Neville being missing for absolutely donkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I still think kind of there's something very much missing about Daniel Bryan at the moment. He's not the Daniel Bryan we once had, which
He will never be that Daniel Bryan, though. Because that was such a sort of the time, sort of zeitgeist moment.
yeah,
It's never going to be the same.
yeah. I don't know. I think maybe I just need time to warm up to it again.
Yeah.
I think
What are
it's
they
good
going to do
news.
with him, though? I mean, like, that's what
Mixed match challenge or mixed tag match
I've
or whatever it
been
is.
thinking about most of the WWE product I've been watching. It's just like they don't know what they're doing with all these people. They've got so many people on the roster now. And I was just reading, like, you know, Asuka's been off TV for X amount of time.
Yeah,
It's just
she
like
has, yeah.
yeah, too much talent and no idea what to do with any of them. So let's just put the Shield
Absolutely.
together again.
Hopefully it means he's got a nice contract where he doesn't have to wrestle all the time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for.
You must wrestle one match a year against Big Cass.
Get Big Cass back for a comeback.
Hey, why not? He's not doing anything.
Isn't he
he's
on the Indies?
he's off in the Indies as Big Kaz.
Yeah, Big Kaz. 2 Zs.
Yeah, but it's not going to last long, is it? Come on.
No.
No. That's rough.
Yeah. So I mean, he had all the chips in that meeting, didn't he? Really, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
in
I would
terms
have
of,
thought so, although they've never been very hot on him. Really. Have
Well-
they? They've never really gone all in on Daniel Bryan. Only reluctantly, just because everyone loves him.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
WWE reluctance.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder how much of that was manufactured in 2014. Like, how much of it was, okay, we're actually going to go along with this. Because, I mean, ultimately, they did give him the WrestleMania. They did give him the main event. They did give him the title.
yeah, but look what happened after that.
But, I mean, that was injury, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah, but he did come back from that injury and then was just...
he was only back for a couple of weeks. They gave him the Intercontinental title, and then he got injured again and retired.
That's back was longer than that, 'cause he was in a Rumble, wasn't he?
Was he?
Oh, who knows? It was so long ago.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't know.
You kind of know that they just basically don't. They might not have a plan for him, but they desperately wouldn't want him to go.
Oh,
So
they
obviously-
definitely would want him to go. Yeah.
Talking about what's happened with Cody since he's gone, you know that Daniel Bryan would have a huge career out there.
Absolutely.
Massive.
So that's why I'm slightly disappointed, because it would have been exciting just to see what would have happened and where he would have gone and what he would have done, and even potential to see him on these shores and things like that. But
Well, that's kind of the part of the ramifications of All In. Like, it'd be interesting to see if it does have any impact on the WWE roster. Like, people like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, like
Yeah.
All In was people they know and are friends with and work with loads, and seen them be so successful and get so much praise.
getting to do what they want.
Yeah, whereas they're just languishing around in the mid card.
Yeah.
Must be tempting.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, the other piece of WWE news that we want to touch upon, hot off the press, announced today, it's Monday that we're recording this, Renee Young is the new full-time Raw co-commentator.
About time.
Yeah, it's
What
good
a
news.
fucking great decision.
Yeah.
What an unusually great decision.
Because she was on comms last week, and she was announced for Evolution, wasn't she, to do comms?
Yeah, and she's been doing Mae Young Classic. And she is very good. You know, it's not just a token choice.
So is she replacing Byron Saxton, or is she replacing Corey Graves?
Coachman.
Coachman, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Jonathan Coachman.
Get with the
not Byron
times.
Saxton.
Apparently,
I know what I'm thinking
he's
now.
moving to the pre-show. He's going to host the pre-show.
Oh, God. I wonder how they spun that for him.
Yeah.
Honestly,
The thing
Coach.
is, like, they've been desperate to have that third person, someone good in that third slot for a while now, haven't they?
Yeah.
And she was, I thought, an obvious choice a long
Yeah.
time ago for that. But
I've got a list here. Of other third choices over the last decade, and you guys can decide whether or not Renee Young is a better option. Okay.
Okay.
can I say yes already?
Okay. Taz.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Did you like Taz on comms?
I thought Taz was a really good commentator.
Yeah.
Oh, he's better than Booker. I go better than Booker.
Yes.
Okay. So higher or lower? Okay. Jesse Ventura.
Oh, I love Jesse Ventura. So
Yeah,
I'm
so
gonna go
this
with-
is, you see how basically this starts fairly well and then it just.
Was Jesse really commentating in the last 10 years?
No.
I think it might have only been for a couple of events, but I'm just going off Wikipedia. Okay.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Jerry
It's the most
Lawler.
reliable of sources. Fuck him.
Fuck him.
No,
The trouble
yeah,
is, Jerry Law is
better.
difficult because back in the day, great. Like him and JR are probably second best comms team of all time.
Yeah, I'd have to agree actually. From well, again, listening to another podcast, hearing lots about him back in the day on the old WrestleManias and things, hearing some clips. He was pretty good back then.
Yeah.
But, big old butt there. Slimy old horrible man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Super,
Good point, Sam.
super
Okay.
slimy.
Renee Young's better than Jerry the
Okay.
Girl.
Okay. Is Renee Young better than Booker T?
Yes.
Yes.
Easy. Is she better than JBL?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Is she better? This one's a tough one. It's going to be a close call. Is she better than Byron Saxton?
Yes.
I quite like Byron.
I think he gets a real rough treatment, Byron, actually. But do you remember one time on Raw when Brock Lesnar came out and destroyed everyone, including the commentary team, and they left just Byron Saxton on his own to basically commentate all of Raw?
Oh, no.
Absolutely stacked it. It was so bad that Vince McMahon lost his temper and sent out, I think it was Jerry King Lawler, to kind of like co-commentate with him.
God.
It was hilariously disastrous.
Would David Otunga have done a better job?
Oh, God, no.
no.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
He's the worst person on this list so far.
Yeah. It's amazing how bland
I
some
don't
of the most recent names you've said are as well. They're not really personalities. They don't. I don't think, like with Saxton and definitely with Otunga, that they bring much personality at all.
No. Otunga looks like he's been through like a horrific wartime massacre. He's just terrified of what he saw.
Yeah.
Just can't quite speak.
And then the last name is Jonathan Coachman, who he's better than quite a
He's
few
been
of those.
Coach is
he's been
alright.
better than
Yeah, but I'd
Good
still
few of
prefer
them.
Renee Young. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm really happy to see Renee Young there. It's really good for her.
yeah,
Great choice.
she's paid her dues.
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of quickly on the subject of commentary, and I'm sure we'll touch on this when we go to the Mae Young Classic. I'm starting to hate Michael Cole.
Yeah, me too.
Really dislike him a lot.
I mean, I did as the first time I heard him say Superman punch.
Yeah, you've
that was
always
it.
hated
He
it.
was done.
Seriously, I'm so sick of him referring to everything as a universe. It's
Yes.
just not. Stop it, big prick.
You know, but
like
he does everything to the letter of the law in terms of WWE, doesn't he? As you said, in
it
terms
just-
of the universe, and
Do you know what?
calling it sports entertainment. Oh,
Hearing him like commentate and the Mae Young Classic at Full Sail University, it felt like violation. Like it was horrible.
I
Just
agree. Yeah.
him being in the Full Sail University commentating was just like, fuck off. Who are you?
Who
Get
did it
off.
last year? Who was the main commentator
It's
last
JR
year?
and Lita, wasn't it?
Oh, it was JR,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. It feels like they could definitely have got somebody else, even if it was Tom Phillips or I don't know why they
Finale?
get him. He doesn't need that gig, does he?
No.
Moro.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, he should just do everything, shouldn't he, really?
Yeah.
Him and Nigel McGuinness.
I think Tom Phillips is good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind Phillips.
I tell you what, I would like for WWE to continue pushing forwards with women commentators and try and get a women play-by-play commentator.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm sure they're going to go that way. They just need the
hope so.
practice and the opportunities, and they're getting them. So that is good news. Okay, that is the news done for now. We're going to move on to recent shows and wrestling we've been watching after this.
EC3 now has Velveteen Dream on the apron.
Velveteen Dream could be in trouble. Wait.
Counter here by Velveteen.
No way.
Dream Valley Driver on the apron. Dream Valley Driver on the apron.
We are back, and during that short break, Sam pointed out something, which is that earlier I forgot to actually introduce you guys. I'm so sorry. Everyone knows Brett's back from holiday, so Brett is here.
Yay.
He's that
Hi,
one
Brett.
who was talking
Hello.
like that. There was a guy who was talking about how much he loved David Otunga. Sam?
I don't mind David Otunga. He's all right. It's not great.
And then
I don't like Michael Cole.
there was the other guy who was saying how much he really didn't want women commentating. John.
Who's that guy?
You, John?
Oh, harsh.
Classic
Yeah,
John.
harsh beans
Bloody hell.
Classic
under
John.
the bus.
And I am Adam, and this is the next part of the Wrestling Roundup podcast. So we're going to talk about, first of all, Raw and Smackdown, the lead up to Hell in a Cell, of course. We're going to keep this fairly brief because we talk about WWE, or at least the main stuff, a lot. And we're going to try and keep it positive. John, you have been our roving reporter who has sacrificed his personal time to watch 5 hours of Raw and Smackdown this week. How was it?
So 12 minutes of wrestling.
I mean, it's the first time I've watched both of them in a very long time.
Yeah.
Traditionally, I don't really like watching Raw because I quite like wrestling, and you don't get a lot of wrestling on Raw.
No.
Can you tell us about Almas versus Daniel Bryan?
That was a great
sounds
match.
sick.
I'm going to start with Raw though, because I've got a few notes. I'm going to try and split up. So I'm going to do the negative bits first, and then I'm going to finish on some positives.
Okay,
How much time do we have?
No, you know what? When I was watching it, I bloody hated it. But looking back at my notes, there was some fun stuff there.
That is WWE all over, no? Isn't it?
Yeah,
That's just what we say at the end of most pay-per-views. There's loads of moments. Anyway, yeah.
Okay, you ready? Negative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 3-hour show, about 20 minutes of wrestling.
Yeah.
About an hour and a half of that show is just replays of stuff you've just seen.
Yeah.
Chad Gable is way too good for WWE, although him and Bobby Roode I'm on board with.
Okay.
He's someone who I want to see in the Indies.
Yeah, I'd love to see Gable in the Indies.
Last bit of bad stuff. Obviously, the week before Kevin Owens quit, he was back this week.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I
isn't it?
read that.
And teaming up with Braun Strowman, sort of being part of his alliance.
It was certainly sort of
Villains.
coming to his aid along with
I'm
the.
glad that he's got over that.
Did they explain why he's back?
Nope.
Did they reference the fact that he'd quit the week before?
I think Michael Cole maybe mentioned it.
Because I read like a review of Raw, but it didn't mention any of it really. And then just the guy who had written the reviews just saying, "Oh yeah, it's just bizarre that he's back already," because that could have been really interesting.
Yeah, it could have been. But like
Now they've kind of gone full on with Braun being a heel again. They should turn Kevin Owens face.
Yeah.
That could have worked.
I mean,
He's likable.
I was going to come on to the Braun bit in a bit because I think there's a lot to talk about with Braun.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go for it.
Good bits. Alexa Bliss and the Elias spot segment was great, especially when Alexa sort of came out being like, "Oh yeah, this is my hometown, Idaho, Idaho, one of those places." But then she's like, "Oh, you guys are all douchebags." That was great. Finn Balor and Braun Strowman have bloody great chemistry together, and should wrestle more.
Okay.
It's a match I wouldn't have thought would work because there is such a massive size distance.
I mean, yes, no, there's
Yeah,
physically
distance
a distance.
and-
There's a distance between their feet and their heads.
It was only
They
a short
differ.
match, but it was really good.
Okay.
Obviously, Jake Maverick and AOP. What the fuck is going on there?
You just call him Jake Maverick.
Oh, Drake.
Maverick?
Yeah, it took me a moment there. Who the fuck is
Jake Maverick, is he your brother? Twin brother?
Should be.
He
Yeah.
sounds like his last day on the job before
It's
Just
retirement.
why come out in the AOP gear? It just made him look so tiny and so
I love
weird.
whenever someone wears the AOP gear. It's the same with Roderick Strong.
Why was he with them? Because he's 205 Live.
He's
isn't
their new manager. He came out and said, "I'm the manager of 205 Live, and I'm also the manager of these dudes."
he? Oh, right, okay.
He did a little promo video on his Instagram or his Twitter saying, you know, he's got a thing for noticing untapped potential, and that's why he took over 205 Live, because he knew he could you know, do great things to move it forward.
He could
And
turn
it's
it around and make it popular.
Same with AOP. It's like, right, okay.
But it
Yeah.
kind of looked like he was going to a kids' party dressed as a member of the Shield, and then just got sort of sidetracked. I'm like, "Oh, hey guys, are you used to the Shield? Oh yeah, I'm with you."
So who wore
Aw.
it better, Roderick Strong or Drake Maverick?
Roderick Strong.
Roderick Strong had that little like Satsuma bag over his face, like weird netting as well.
They kind of look like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for that one,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not like the good ones, like the Michael Bay ones.
So we're going Roddy then, yeah.
Yeah, but
definitely.
like
Only
Drake
just, though.
Maverick wearing the AOP gear is a little bit like when you're playing one of the WWE games and you're just like, and now this person's going to join DX.
Yeah,
And just like dress them up in DX gear.
yeah, just for the novelty.
And
is good,
finally,
guys. No,
the
John.
best thing on Raw, lastly, what?
This is good because Broken But Glorious got in touch, didn't they? They had a comment saying that they were sure that we could get a good 20 to 25 minutes discussion out of how ridiculous Spud looks. So I think we've got to do another 20 minutes on this.
Okay.
5.
I would love it if he started making everyone in 205 Live wear the AOP gear.
That would be good.
I mean, Mustafa Ali is almost there.
Yeah.
It's a start.
I think Gulak could rock it.
Yeah. I would just love it. Just like an army of cruiserweights all wearing this like riot gear.
Yeah.
It's just, do you remember in NXT when AOP were this unstoppable, awesome machine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they just ditched Ellering, which was obviously a personal decision, but also a terrible decision because then they started to speak for themselves, which wasn't a good look for them because they never got to do it in NXT, so they never got to practice.
It's kind of ironic that a team called Authors are just really bad at talking
Just really
and presenting
illiterate.
themselves. Yeah. They're the Garth Marenghi's of wrestling. They've definitely written more books than they've read.
Anyway, sorry, John. Sorry, Broken But Glorious. More to the point, we're not going to do another 15 on that. Cause,
weird decision though. Lastly on Raw, my favourite bit, obviously the main event was meant to be Baron Corbin in a rematch against Finn Balor, but Baron Corbin had to back out because he had too much admin to do. And that paperwork stacks up. You've got to make sacrifices.
Thank God for the
Admin
paperwork.
Corbin.
you must have popped hard when they said admin.
I was so happy. I was grinning ear to ear.
I really
Fantastic.
hope that they continue this streak of Baron Corbin just playing loads of different roles as if he's playing like just like how kids like pretend to be firefighters and policemen and stuff. It's just Baron Corbin.
Don't Titus Worldwide need a new statistician?
Yes,
no.
they've seemed to have split up. Big news in the wrestling world.
Oh god.
Baron Corbin dressed as a saucy secretary.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
okay, now we're talking.
yeah.
Cooking with gas here. I want to know what's on his clipboard.
Anyway, can we talk about Braun quickly? Because obviously he was the most over guy in the company.
Yeah.
Won the briefcase, did the ultimate good guy move and said, I'm going to cash this in front of your face and at a certain time rather than behind your back. And now he's turned into a bad guy, attacking everyone. And the crowd seemed to be a bit like, I don't know what's going on here.
Nor do the writers.
It's a bit like the Becky Lynch situation, isn't it? Like, here we go, she's heel, but the whole crowd still absolutely adore her and want to cheer for her. And it's the same with Braun.
Which is funny because I've heard comparisons of Charlotte to Roman Reigns recently where it's been like, this is the person we want to push and you're going to like it. And it's like, are we?
I mean, it's clearly because they've got the Shield and they want the Shield, and the Shield need to be the main guys, so they need some bad guys.
But that's also weird because obviously in the last 6 months, the two best people in the company have been Braun and Seth Rollins, and now you're taking Seth and put him into. They're basically going to tag him in with Dean Ambrose again. It's just that makes no sense.
Raw is particularly poorly written as of late. Like even by their standards, it seems really like they've just completely scrapping and lost the plot. Do you know what they need? They need to do like a comic event. Like they need to do like a Civil War or kind of New 52, whatever the fuck it was. Just
what they need to do is
scrap the stories, start again.
They need to do what they do in the White House to Donald Trump. When the scripts are end up on Vince McMahon's desk, someone needs to whip them away before he's got a chance to read them and change them. And just keep pretending like he's doing the job without doing the job.
Unfortunately, Vince McMahon's got more power than Donald Trump.
If that's the takeaway from this pod, this is the most depressing, sad pod we've ever done.
It really
I think
is.
with Raw, they just need to have some bloody wrestling. You've got so much talent there, and all you're doing is most of it's just backstage segments. And then when you do have a wrestling match, it's just full of adverts. And you could cut away for every 2 seconds.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Just cut it down to 2 hours, and then
But Smackdown was so much. I enjoyed Smackdown a lot. It was much better. Like, it wasn't a great show, but Daniel, I'm a bit mixed about Bryan and Brie and Miz and Maurice. But
Oh God, the Bellas. Everyone saw the GIF.
Oh God.
No.
Oh, that suicide dive.
Yeah, she had a couple of botches. God bless her.
Oh, dear.
Apparently she did it, failed, ran back in the ring and tried it again.
Did she?
Yeah, apparently.
I mean, she has just come back from like a year out. She just had a kid. Fair play to her.
Fair.
But, I mean,
Okay,
I bloody hate the Bellas.
Fair play to her. But I hate you.
I hate the Bellas.
I want to like the Bellas, but I just...
Feels like they're tainted by the whole diva thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, there's part of me that's like, if their gimmick is that rather than like the culture being that, then I'm okay with that. If
Yeah.
that's kind of like what they're peddling as, hey, I'm a heel, I'm like this, and kind of being that sort of diva-esque wrestler, and that's their gimmick, then fine. But if it's kind of like all of women's wrestling should be like this, it's then a little bit like, back to the 90s. The politically correct 90s, according to Eric Bigger.
Couldn't agree more.
Yes. Okay. Well, I mean, you could give us a big review of SmackDown, but we've got plenty more to talk about. And I just realised by the time this comes out, there'll be another episode of Raw and SmackDown for us to...
That's quite handy, because looking at my notes, I think I might have fallen asleep halfway through SmackDown, because it kind of just ends quite abruptly.
I was really hoping that your notes would just become like a dream state of just like,
Yeah.
and then Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens tagged up against Sami
CM Punk
Zayn,
came
and
back.
He came back, and he came back on SmackDown.
Yeah, so I said at the start that we're going to keep it positive and get hyped about Hell in a Cell, and we didn't manage to do that. We won't bother talking about the card for Hell in a Cell because, again, we talk about WWE all the time, particularly those pay-per-views. So let's move on to, very briefly, should we talk about NXT? And in particular, who do you think attacked Aleister Black?
Gargano. Do you reckon that heel turn?
Oh, you reckon?
I reckon
That's a good
his
call.
hatred of Ciampa's gotten so extreme that he attacked Aleister Black.
I reckon that's a good call.
I mean, are you enjoying it?
Neville.
Neville, that's good.
Enjoying what, NXT or who
Yeah,
attacked
well,
Aleister
that
Black?
angle. Yeah, that you know, William Regal
Well,
opening up his investigation office, or
I think any angle
Gareth
which
Keenan investigates.
gives Regal loads of TV time is okay with me.
Yeah, it's good. I was most upset with the whole Lars Sullivan being interviewed in like this toxic green looking tap out shirt and then just his trunks. It was like, you can't sit at a desk with that
they
look.
should have done like a Basic Instinct scene.
Yeah, it was just so wrong.
God.
So wrong.
The NXT parking lot is the most dangerous place in all of wrestling.
Yes.
You
it
do
is.
not want to be caught out there alone on your own.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Nikki Cross was just on the roof.
Her bit was quite funny as well, though, I think.
Oh, Nikki Cross in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That was
She's
so
just
funny.
Anyway.
bonkers.
The answer to who attacked Aleister Black is it was Rikishi.
Oh my God, I'd be so happy.
Definitely. And he did it for The Rock.
Wouldn't you be confused, like, where are they going with this?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If Rikishi's involved, we'd all be delighted.
NXT has had some great matches on it, though, recently. I mean, it falls into the category of having way too many callbacks to Takeover and replays and look at all the other things you can watch on WWE Network and about, 15, 20 minutes of wrestling. But some of the matchups they've had on there recently, and the one they've got, is it next week or the week after? With Pete Dunne versus Ricochet.
Yeah, that's
for
gonna be
both
killer.
belts.
Yeah.
It's going to be insane.
Is that for both belts?
Yeah, I believe so.
Really?
That's going to be a dirty finish if that's for both belts.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere it's for both belts as well. So yeah, you kind of think it must be a dirty finish, but still, it's going to be.
Yeah, there's no way Ricochet's taken the UK belt now that they have NXT UK.
No.
And I can't
Not unless
imagine.
Vince has taken over booking.
Yeah,
But maybe,
Ricochet's
yeah.
not going to lose his either. Again, considering Pete's going to be busy in the UK and Ricochet's only just won. Yeah, I think we're right there. Dirty finish.
Dirty finish.
Next up, we're going to talk about the Mae Young Classic, which is obviously back for its second year. We did a big review of it last year. This time round, they're going to be having the finals at Evolution, the big women's pay-per-view, which should be pretty cool. Obviously, they say finals. Does that just mean the final? Or does it mean the quarters, the semis, and the final?
Just the grand final, surely.
But why do they put an S on it?
Because they're Americans.
Oh, God. Fair enough.
What can I say, man? But this year's Mae Young Classic, I would describe it as Afrolicious.
Okay. Is that because of MJ Jenkins?
Yeah.
Because of MJ Jenkins, who I thought was actually very impressive.
She has a great look. But
she does.
Her music is a total Beyonce rip-off. Wasn't it?
She is a total Beyonce rip-off.
I suppose so. But honestly, it sounded just like, is it Crazy in Love?
Yeah, it did.
Like the intro. It's mad. But yeah, first match, they had 4 matches, 4 first-round matches, and the first one was between Zatara and Tegan Knox. Tegan Knox obviously was AKA, or previously known as Nixon Newell, somebody who was, who I've seen a bit of in the past on Progress, and then was supposed to do well last year, but got injured.
A lot of people say she looks like her dad.
That is a good joke, Sam.
Yes.
Thank you. I've been saving that for a year and a bit.
Could you explain why it's a good joke?
Because Nixon Newell used to come out to Irish amazing super band.
Super band?
Bewitched. Bewitched, not U2, who are also an Irish super band, nearly on par with Bewitched.
Yeah.
Really?
Bewitched basically used to be Sam's entrance music to The Office when we all worked together.
What? Oh. Come on, guys. Huh? Thank you. And that is why we like to sing Bewitched.
Yes. So back to Tegan Knox. I mean, obviously unfortunately, we found out in the news, and this is a spoiler, that she got injured in her second round match with Rhea Ripley and is now out of the tournament. But it was revealed that she was supposed to go very far, I think even maybe to the final. Michael Cole was raving, saying that she was his pick, which is a bit weird. Yeah. But I thought
Cole in
good.
general was a bit weird.
They did do a lot of their own picks and stuff in the last year's one as well, though, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, like, what I would say is that for as bad a news as that is for Tegan Knox, that's great news for Rhea Ripley, who I do really rate.
Yeah. I like that she's gone bad, and she is beefed up, hasn't she? Her shoulders and arms are massive.
I didn't love her match though in this episode.
No, I thought it was pretty decent.
So Rhea Ripley faced MJ Jenkins or Beyonce.
Oh, and going back to Tegan Knox and Zatara though, it is a shame because I love a Shining Wizard, and Tegan Knox hits a great crossbody splash from the turnbuckle. Yeah. She got both of those in.
And her wizards are incredibly shiny.
Yes.
She comes across really well, I think.
Yeah.
Like, as a person.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, sorry, in the second match, I don't know, it just, Rhea Ripley seemed just more like strike and not much else except for, I guess, that finishing move that she did. And I'm sure she showed more in the first Mae Young Classic than she did in this one. But I know it's a character thing, and you know, obviously she's gone through, so I reckon we're going to see a lot more.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what happened in that second round match with Tegan Knox. You know, if it was an early injury, that'd be a real shame.
Sure.
So third match, Lacey Lane versus Vanessa Craven. Vanessa Craven, absolutely huge woman.
She looks a lot like a woman we all used to work with, I thought.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that's quite a niche reference, but
we can probably cut that out. But
no, let's keep it in there. That woman may well be listening now. She's going to be sobbing into her ginormous.
I mean, that's a compliment.
Clothes.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh God. It has all gone strange, but we're going to keep it in because we are the realest podcast in the room. Oh no!
Whoa!
How you doing?
Don't.
Wow,
Drag us down that hole.
Yeah, I didn't actually mean
great.
to do that. Yeah, Vanessa Craven, 6'2".
I thought she was really good. Actually, I was hoping she would. I'm really upset that she didn't win her match. I thought that was a real upset there.
Yeah, I thought she was going to win it, I have to say.
I did not think a lot of Lacey Lane, especially her bouncy arm drag,
her botch
in the corner.
Her botch on the ropes. I felt bad for her.
That was really bad.
Yeah.
Especially with Vanessa Craven throwing herself out of the ring afterwards. But no, I thought Vanessa Craven looked very good. I thought Lacey Lane looked very green. And I'm not sure the right person won that match, but then hey, wrestling's meant to be surprises, and that was a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Lacey Lane's another one with a pretty cool look and gimmick, though. So I'm excited to see more of her.
Yeah. It's quite a Mortal Kombat look, isn't it?
Yeah.
That outfit.
Yeah. Anyway, fourth match, one that I was really excited about, having seen quite a lot of Killer Kelly recently on Progress.
It was great.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this was a hell of a match.
Yeah, this was really, really good.
Killer Kelly versus Maiko Satomura. Again, Satomura, another one that a lot of people rave about. Say he's one of the best female wrestlers in the world and has been for a very, very long time. Sam, do you know a bit about her?
Do you know what? I do not know a thing about Maiko
Fantastic.
Satomura. So,
I know
way they-
she's been Fight Club Pro Champ, hasn't she?
Yes.
the way they talked about her with such reverence in Mae Young Classic did make me go look her up afterwards, because I was just like, wait, who the fuck? What? And whilst I haven't followed her career, I don't know who she was. It looks like she's got a hell of a resume behind her.
Yeah.
And kind of fantastic stuff. She was so impressive in the ring. Gave me a real Minoru Suzuki vibe in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah, she was brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought Killer
really
Kelly looked
great.
really good.
She did. She really did. I always think it looks a bit funny whenever someone wears a black mouth guard and they open their mouth, because it makes them look a bit kind of like...
I think it's great. It makes her look really intense.
Yeah.
As to her look. That Dragon Sleeper as well.
Oh boy,
So good.
That was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, I mean, I did think initially, this sucks that she looks so great. Such a shame she's gone out in the first round, but they've blatantly done it because she's featuring in NXT UK, so it's going to hopefully direct a few people that way to.
She's going to be
check it
around for a while.
Yeah,
I think she's going to do really, really well. Maiko Satomura, she's probably not going to be around WWE for too long. She probably gives the tournament a bit of prestige.
Yeah.
But she's not going to be a long-term prospect for WWE. It's a bit like Bryan Kendricks in the Cruiserweight Classic all over again. Whereas, or maybe not, Tajiri in the Cruiserweight Classic, it's just...
Yeah,
it's an
Kendrick
established
actually
name.
won the Cruiserweight title, but
Sure.
I know most people didn't really care or notice.
And Maiko Satomura, I hope she's going to do well in the tournament, but at the same time, she's not what I would expect to be a future prospect of WWE in comparison to someone like Killer Kelly. So
I reckon she's going to make it to the semi-final, and they're going to have a great match against Toni Storm, and then it'll probably be Toni Storm in the final.
do you think a Toni Storm Io Shirai final?
I do.
Oh, fuck,
I think it's going to be Rhea
absolute killer.
Ripley. I reckon it's going to be Ripley and Io on the other side in the semi-finals. And Toni Storm versus Io will be great.
Yeah, I've watched some Toni Storm Io Shirai matches in Stardom,
Oh yeah, of course.
and those are brutal.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so
There's
good.
a lot of pile drivers.
And I reckon this is going to be Toni Storm's going to win.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's my
That's
call.
a big shout.
That's
I don't
my
think
call.
so.
I think she's going to.
I don't know. They
not
focused on her
sure.
quite a bit last year. I can't see them doing that.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I
you
just
never
think
know.
it'll be that step for her to push her even further.
She too is going to NXT UK though, isn't she?
Yeah,
I don't know if she is she?
Yeah, she is.
she's been in it, I think, hasn't she?
Okay.
Yeah, haven't they even had they had the match for the women's title in that? But I mean,
Yes.
I purposefully haven't seen who's won.
Oh yeah.
I won't
don't tell
spoil
us.
it. I won't spoil
I
it.
don't want to know.
Just quickly, what is Tegan Knox's relationship to Dakota Kai? Are they tag team or something?
Friends.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're good friends. I mean, they both featured on Progress in the early days, and even a couple of shows ago, Tegan Knox was supposed to have a title match against Ginny, but it was she was injured. In fact, it must have been just after the taping of this.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm getting
oh
confused.
right.
But Dakota Kai came instead and had a match with Ginny. And
Oh, fair enough.
They,
I thought maybe they were a tag team or something because they wear quite similar ring gear.
they may well have
Yeah.
been. They may well have been. But
They do the hand poses and stuff.
They're the new Bailey and Sasha Banks.
yeah, God.
Frenemies.
Yeah. Okay. As you can tell, John didn't watch that.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it though. It sounds great.
Yeah. Sorry, we've just spoilt it all for you.
That's
Oh well. Next up, we're going to talk about something that we don't get a chance to talk about very much, and that is Progress. Specifically, the build to Wembley. We've got the Wembley show coming up at the end of the month. All four of us are going. We've got third row seats. We're very excited. And of course, we've just had Chapter 75 off the back of the 6-show US coast-to-coast tour that they've just done, which is pretty mental. But chapter 75, These Violent Delights Have Violent Ends. I've watched it. I know Brett has watched some of it. I haven't managed it, but we can talk about it briefly.
Yeah, I'm glad because I haven't watched much progress recently.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we watched this one because it had Mark Haskins back in a singles match.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Yeah, they said, didn't they? It was his first singles match in progress for like 2 years or
like
something.
ages,
ridiculous.
yeah.
I mean, the opposite to you, I have watched a lot of progress and I've watched every single chapter still. And being the completist that I am, I'm a bit gutted that they've only managed to get 3 of their 6 US shows up on demand so far. So they had lots of stuff that was relevant to the build to Wembley, particularly the tag team Thunderbastard stuff and the 3-in thing that they had for deciding who was going to be in the title match. They've got loads of confusing stuff going on.
Yeah, they do.
But there was absolutely no way to keep up to date with that unless you just read spoilers or read reviews. It seems a bit silly that you can't watch the shows. Okay, 6 shows is a lot to edit, but they seem to do this to themselves quite a lot, progress. And
yeah, you'd think they just maybe,
hire some other people.
Editor.
Yeah. They must be making enough money now, surely.
My degree was in video editing, so just give me a shout, guys. I'll do it for you. So I wanted to touch upon, before we get hyped about Wembley and the card itself, which is looking good, lots of our favourite wrestlers on there, I did want to talk about the tag team Thunderbastard.
Yeah, because this is really confusing, because I thought it was like a little tournament where people get points, but then I saw the card for Wembley and it's everyone just in one match together.
Yeah, so it is a tournament, isn't it?
Yeah,
essentially.
Well, basically, obviously, their Thunderbastards in the past have been for singles wrestlers, and it's their kind of version of a Royal Rumble, whereby they have people entering the ring at different times and stuff like that. So they've had a series. They selected 8 tag teams, and then they've had a series of tag team matches over the past however many chapters. It's been going on for ages.
Yeah, ages.
And then those matches are helping to decide the order that the teams will enter the Thunderbastard match at Wembley.
See, that was not very well explained.
Huh.
No, and also a bit stupid. Hold on, Sam. Hold on.
Okay.
I've got about 30, 40 minutes on this.
Is this War Games again then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So involved in those 8 teams was the grizzled young veterans who were the champions at the start of it. They added the stipulation that if anyone beat the grizzled young veterans in any of these build-up matches, they would win the championship. So it's like they're planning for this big championship match, but you can also win the championship during it, which I think is weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, like they probably shouldn't even be in there.
No.
Yeah. I'm confused.
CCK won the titles in Philadelphia. Then Bandido and Flamita won the titles on another show towards the end of the US tour, which I mean I think we'll all agree after watching All In is amazing that they're involved.
Yep.
And look forward to seeing them. But so they've had a couple of title changes already. If that wasn't confusing enough, they've also had the problem of Kid Lykos's injury, meaning that Chris Brooks was without a partner for CCK, so he wrestled with Jonathan Gresham over in America, and he also wrestled with AR Fox, and then he wrestled with Timothy Thatcher on chapter 75. So CCK's a bit of a mess. Then they also had the team of Haskins and Morgan Webster, but that broke up, and Morgan Webster got together with Wild Boar to form the 198. And altogether, it has just been a total shambles, and they've had to put out YouTube videos, they've done podcasts, trying to explain what's going on. Even at the start of chapter 75, they were explaining it, and none of it made sense.
I've got one more question, right?
Yeah.
So, because Thunderbirds is usually a single like competition, they all sort of end up in the ring at the same time. Is that still the case? Like, how does that work with tag teams?
I don't know. I'm guessing so.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, do they tag in out?
Yeah, or is it winner stays on and
16 wrestlers. 16 wrestlers involved.
Yeah, I don't know.
God, it sounds like an utter mess.
Can't wait.
Cool.
So what's happening with CCK now?
Well, he's just been having different teammates.
Is he going to be in the Thunderbastard match?
Yeah, but who knows who with? I mean, the good thing about him going up with
Neville.
the good thing about him teaming up with Timothy Thatcher is that they got to be called the Calamari Thatch Kings and CC Kampf, which is
Pretty
funny.
good. Yeah, pretty good.
But
Sexy Star, is that the Sexy Star who broke Rosemary's arm?
No, that's David Starr and Jack Sexsmith.
yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
That would have been amazing if she was.
I was going to say
randomly
that it's a real strange.
Is
booking
she a
decision,
tag
that.
team?
Well, that's why I was
herself as
confused.
well?
I'm looking at this and I was like, you have 6 different tag teams and then one wrestler who's been banned from a load of different shows, and she's allowed to break anyone's arm. And if she does, she gets the title.
That would make more sense, actually, weirdly, I think.
Yeah, I think the amount of stuff that they've had in this build-up for this, that wouldn't have been that weird. It would just been like, oh, okay, something else. I think it's definitely a case of something that they kind of wished they'd never started. They've had numerous problems along the way, what with the injuries and things, but it's just a total mess, like I said. And it's
take
been
a leaf
annoying
out of WWE's book and just ignore their tag division.
yeah. But it's been annoying, and it's been really good to talk about it with you guys.
I'm glad we could be there for you, Andy.
Yeah,
A
support
problem
group.
shared is a problem halved, or something. But yeah, quickly just on the rest of chapter 75, or maybe let's not review that. Let's talk a bit more about Wembley itself and the card. Obviously, we had things finalised on chapter 75, and Brett, would you agree that probably one of the best things about that show was the whole culmination, or not the culmination, but the last face-to-face between Mark Andrews and Eddie Dennis?
Yes, yeah, that was great.
It was amazing.
I love Mark Andrews' like stage dive
Yeah.
onto him while he was like talking trash. What did he say just before he did that? I hope your band does well, or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
There was a great put down.
There's no way that the band would have got as much attention if it wasn't for his WWE contract and all that. And they were doing really well. Great mic work.
And then did you see there was a woman like sat in the audience, and she was right on the aisle, and she was right next to like where Mark Andrews landed on them all, and she looked really annoyed. Like the guy next to her was like cheering, going, "Yeah, this is amazing." She looked like she could kill him.
Do you know what? Out of every wrestler who could possibly land on you, Mark Andrews, he's got to be pretty high up on the list of not that bad.
Yeah,
Quite small,
He's a
light,
light fella.
looks like he smells nice.
Yeah.
On a card with water on it.
Yeah.
It could be a lot worse, lady.
But I think that's been the best feud in British pro wrestling. I don't watch loads of it, but again, listening to other podcasts and reading stuff about other promotions, there's just so many people are just all over this. And the fact that it's been building for a year, obviously we've had Eddie's injury, which has helped that, but it's just been such a slow build. And they announced that the stipulation is going to be a tables, ladders and chairs match.
Yeah, that's going
So
to
we
be
get to watch that. John, anything on the card that you're particularly looking forward to?
I mean, it's not particularly interesting. Well, it's interesting, but it's quite obvious. Pete Dunne versus Ilya Dragunov. Just because I've never seen him wrestle before, so I'm just really excited about that because he seems pretty mental.
Yeah, I'm really hyped for that too.
Yeah, he showed up on chapter 75, which was cool to sort of get a glimpse of the kind of character that he is. So I'm excited about that.
That torpedo headbutt thing he did. I don't know if it was meant to be like a spinning, like uppercut sort of thing, but it just seemed to headbutt him.
Yeah, it did look
like
cool.
a rocket. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was different. Sam, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to Ginny versus Tony Storm versus Millie McKenzie, which that looks like a sick match. Did you guys see quite recently Millie McKenzie doing the Friends entrance with Trent Seven and Pete Dunne?
Yeah, the stuff they've been doing at Fight Club Pro. I really want to watch Fight Club Pro. Like I keep nearly subscribing to their Vimeo and like thinking I'm going to go back and watch it all.
Let's go up and go see a show.
We should, shouldn't we?
Yeah, let's do it.
They seem to have so much fun, and I love what they're doing with Millie and Pete. Like they've been bringing out some amazing merch as well.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be good. Mark Haskins against Matt Riddle.
Yeah, Matt Riddle's last ever indie show.
Yeah.
This is my match that I'm most excited about.
Yes, Brett. I knew it.
Totally.
He's
amazing. Mark Haskins is amazing, and like getting to see him in a singles match in like the last chapter again, finally, just like he is so fluid, and like they were talking, and it's right, like his transitions, like from one thing to the next is just amazing.
When I was describe him as Ronda Rousey-esque or Zack Sabre Jr.-esque.
Ooh,
Probably Ronda.
yeah, I'd
Because
put
it's speed,
probably
it's
Ronda.
pacey.
Yeah,
Ooh.
he's really intense.
Yeah.
Like and live, it comes across even more so.
This is going to be the first time I'm ever going to see him wrestle live or anything. So
Yeah.
Well, Sam, this is the thing. When I was watching Progress last night, because you'd said that you were going to watch Chapter 75, I was like, yes, this is a great match for Sam to watch of Haskins. I was really excited.
the best laid plans of mice and men.
Yeah. But this is all in all, actually. I know, like, I've seen some people say not negative things, but like not that much excitement for the card of the Wembley show. And I don't know how they can say that because like there's like it's stacked with matches that I am, super excited to see. I mean, Trent Seven, Doug Williams. No, but
that's the one I'm least excited about in the whole card.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Because we're probably going to get serious Trent.
Yeah, we might get serious Trent. I reckon that would be cool though. Doug Williams against Flash Morgan a little while back in Progress was great.
Yeah,
and it showed that Doug Williams wasn't done. I thought because they're like he's still going, and it feels like he's not as great as he was. And it's like, yeah, maybe he can stop now. But then I saw that match and I was like, no, that's great. So I'm hoping we're going to get something like that.
An ODQ match as well between Jimmy Havoc and Paul Robinson. That
It's going to be
I reckon could be quite tasty.
Yeah.
yes.
But Paul Robinson
Yeah.
looks like an utter thug.
He's the most terrifying man in wrestling, I think.
Yeah.
That's a big shout.
If you saw him in the street, you would cross the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so
that's
scary.
probably true.
He's so intense. He's one of the most intense
He is.
performers I've
At the
ever
Bryan
seen.
Championship, he was utterly terrifying.
He's
My
disgusting,
wife was
isn't he?
petrified.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't do his spit thing.
Oh, he's gross.
When he sort of spits down into someone.
Yeah.
That is just, I've seen that and that's just, makes
See,
me
I
wanna
think the
puke.
thing is that the only time I've seen him wrestle is in that really fun match where he was tagging with Will Ospreay at Riptide.
Yeah, that
That
was
was
fun.
great.
That was weird. That even then, though, they were meant to be the baby faces there.
Sure.
We have to say that obviously that match has come off the back of the Jimmy Havoc Will Ospreay match that headlined Chapter 75, which was a 2 out of 3 falls no DQ match with Paul Robinson as guest referee. And fucking hell, I mean, it might be the longest Progress match ever. I don't know, but it was a good 45 minutes.
Wow.
It felt huge at the start, and all I was thinking was, why Will Ospreay did you have to have conflicts with your calendars? Because I would have loved to have seen this at Wembley. Oh my god, some amazing
originally,
moments.
I thought you described that as a 2 hour 3 falls match, and I was like, I think I'd be okay with that if I had to watch a 2 hour match of Will Ospreay just basically flying. I'd be, let's do it.
I really would recommend you watch that because it's one of those matches that's it's such a huge deal in the history of Progress. And
Okay, well,
Yeah, I might
I'll
watch
certainly try and watch Chapter 75 before.
Yeah.
we go
I just love that
Wembley.
sequence of like taking out all the refs.
oh yeah,
That was my favourite bit.
yeah. I almost don't want to spoil it for you guys.
Yeah, don't
now,
spoil
but
it. No spoilers.
Sorry.
No
Yeah.
spoilers.
But I will say there is one massive spot where Ospreay
Tegan Knox gets injured and then she
No.
can't.
Ospreay goes crazy, absolutely crazy, and
Okay.
jumping off something big. Anyway, let's move on because this podcast, which is supposed to be a short little wrestling roundup, has ended up being a massive one. So that's it. That's all we're going to talk about in terms of the recent shows and the news. We do have a couple of listener questions which we'll fly through after this.
And now the power comes out. Lacey Lane bounced off the apron.
And that is the hardest part of the ring. Nothing but steel under that.
Oh, no. This is bad. This is bad.
Right, before we go, we're going to answer a couple of listener comments and questions. I put out a request on Twitter, and we've had a couple of quite fun ones, really, haven't we, John?
Yeah, some very fun ones. We've got Will Superkick. He asks, favourite wrestler to never win the big one? Top title.
Papa Shango.
Papa Shango. There's two quite...
that too obvious?
I think there's two quite iconic ones.
Yeah, who would you go for?
Jake the Snake.
Yeah, that's the one that most people go for. You're so commercial, John.
Yeah, and also the other big commercial one would be Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, I've got even more
Who?
big guys. I've got a few, and I was like, Goldust.
I was leaving that for Sam. I was sure Sam was going to pick Gold Dust.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I've got nothing now.
God's
All right,
sake,
cut
Brett, you should have
that.
known.
Cut that.
No, that's fine. You take it.
No, I'm not cutting it.
Mr. Perfect.
Oh, Mr. Perfect's the one. He's definitely the one.
Yeah.
Cheers, Brett. Cheers, Brett. That was my pick. But that's cool. You just keep picking all of our picks.
Yeah. Owen Hart, obviously.
Oh, did Owen Hart never win it? Bloody hell.
No. And Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. These are intercontinental champs, not the big one. It's amazing,
exactly.
isn't it?
Mr. Perfect in particular, he had quite a few title runs, didn't he? IC title runs, but
Yeah.
I'd say the two biggest and best would be Mr. Perfect and Roddy, definitely.
I'm going to put a shout out there for Dean Malenko, who I feel like has always been a
Solid worker.
underrated but fantastic wrestler. Big Cass.
Yeah. I was
What a
going
big miss.
to make a joke about Giant Carly, but he did Great Carly, Giant Carly, Great Carly, but
John Gonzalez, he never won it.
he did actually win it.
Yeah.
Sam, I suppose Sam could always say that Gold Dust could still win it.
I mean, I 100% think everyone knows how I feel about Gold Dust, but
He's got one more run left in him, hasn't he? I think.
yeah, I mean, I do actually think he's been genuinely overlooked in the bigger scheme of things.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. We got to get out of here. So
Yes.
MJ from You Total Cult asks, if a Wolfman fought a vampire in a hardcore match, who wins?
I have spent most of my day thinking about this.
I spent 5 seconds
Because-
thinking about this.
Vampire turns up with a silver chair. That's bad news. Wolfman puts Vampire through a table.
Oh,
Got a
splinters.
lot of splinters
See,
there.
I like where you went there. I thought vampire because Wolfman has no control in us, just goes rage, and a vampire can be like cunning and evil.
You reckon a vampire would do a lot of blading? That's the problem.
I think it depends on whose blood the vampire's drinking. If he's drinking like Scott Steiner's blood, he's super jacked. Wolfman doesn't stand a chance.
I mean, at the same time, though, he could be drinking Cowboy Bob Orton's blood and then have hepatitis.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Wow.
I can't not see the Wolfman winning this. We've seen Killian Dane wrestle, so we know how effective it can be.
I was going to say a Wolfman because Brett's essentially a Wolfman, and I'd always back Brett in any fight.
I think we're going Wolfman.
Wolfman it is.
Although,
Yeah.
Taichi is such a good wrestler, and he's kind of like a vampire.
Anyway, final question.
Final question. Hilnick Payne's been in touch. He asks, Braun, Dolph, and Drew need a faction name. What would you call them?
Bully Club.
Ooh,
That's quite good, actually.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Although for a split second I didn't get the link, and I was like, "That's just boring." Oh yeah, Bully Club. Okay, I get it.
Cool, I'm out, guys. Enjoy the rest of the pod.
I've gone for THC. Okay, and it's not. I'm not suggesting they're going to set up some sort of stoner gimmick or anything. It's just because obviously Ziggler is always on the sunbeds. Strowman already has a catchphrase, and McIntyre is Scottish, so THC could stand for Tans, Hands, and Clans. Okay, good night,
It's very
everybody.
much on the table, ladders, and chairs.
Yeah.
That's all I do. Okay, thanks a lot. I'm off. Cheers. Bye
Okay,
now.
next pod's not off next week. Hell in a Cell review week after. See you guys later. Bye.
So
Bye.
we should probably do the get in touch part as well.
Oh,
Just fit
damn
that in
it.
there.
Brett, quick. Before he comes back, this is our chance to sign.
Is he
I'm
coming
back.
back?
Oh,
he's
it's too late. Oh,
So sorry, guys. I was just thinking to myself how fantastic that name, that faction name was. Anyway, next podcast, as John just tried to say, is the Hell in a Cell review. And it's not next week, John, because we're off next week because 2 of us are on holiday.
Hey, together.
No, definitely not. 2 of us are on holiday, and the other 2 are basically not up to the job of producing a podcast by themselves. We're not going to reveal which 2, but we know. So what we're going to do is we're going to release our Hell in a Cell podcast the week after, so you guys can watch Hell in a Cell multiple times before listening
You
to.
can reflect on it for a week.
Yeah.
Think
So
about what you've done.
massive apologies. The review's going to be a week late, but do you really care? We do this for free, so give us a break. So we'll be back then. Let's end this. Brett, how do people get in touch?
Send an email to hardestpartofthering@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Send a Twitter or a comment at Hardest Part Pod for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And check out our shop, which is hardestpartofthering.bigcartel.com.
Nice one, Grandad. Send a Twitter. Sorry. Are you actually offended?
No.
Okay, good. Thanks.
I was just going to let you wrap it up.
Welcome back to the pod, Brett. Bye, John.
Goodbye.
Bye, Sam.
Nice one, Grandad.
Bye, Brett.
Bye.
Another very professional ending from me, Adam. Goodbye. That was the hardest part of the ring. Oh, God. Kill me.
Wow.
Excellent wrap up.
That is the hardest part of that ring.